Good morning, afternoon, good evening, North. So I'm going to read this. Eagle Eyes on Tech. I am Eagle Falcon. To say there's a lot to do today is quite the understatement. That much is for sure. We're going to be covering the Artesian Builds controversy, Russia being isolated out from the world, and there's so much going on that there's a decent chance we're not going to get to the Apple story. This Tuesday, Apple announces new chips. I mean, we've already barely covered it now if we don't go into detail about what I expect. There's just so much to do and so little time. We're going to actually get started right away with the Artesian Builds controversy. So, first off, let me go through my first encounter with this company. For those who don't know, Artesian Builds is a very small independent computer building company. They tried to go ahead and will basically start themselves up. Their advertising method was going to be trying to get as much cheap and free advertising as possible. To which then they reached out to a ton of small streamers, myself included. This was actually way back in December of the 16th, in which they offered me into their ambassador program, which is basically just like the affiliate program of many companies, of which most small streamers should not, under any circumstances, touch. I want to stress that. The overwhelming majority of these ambassadors / affiliate programs, you basically go ahead, you take up valuable space on your info page as a streamer, which, by the way, Twitch is now done in such a way that your info page basically almost never gets looked at all. I'm willing to bet there is a ton of outdated information on my info page. So many banners out of date and whatnot. It's quite possible. But they expect you to put up an advertisement for free and pay you based on commission for people who click through that link and purchase a PC. Now, back when they sent me this whole thing, I didn't like the idea of it at all. Just because I've seen these sort of affiliate programs time and time again, and almost always these affiliate programs end up having you as the person who is the small streamer basically be in a giant lose-lose situation. You have the look of selling out, and you don't even get the benefit of selling out. Now, one of the ways that Artesian Builds tries to make up for this is by having ambassador giveaways. Oh, and by the way, just as another fun little thing, when they tried to recruit me, I did ask them, what makes you think my audience would be ideal for your product? And they cited my passion for gaming as the primary reason. Not the fact that I was a former PC refurbisher and do podcasts daily covering the latest tech news. Whoops. Now, fast forward to this past Wednesday. I get flooded with information in regards to Artesian Builds and one of their ambassador giveaways. And what we got from them is it's quite the sight. For starters, apparently this giveaway is sponsored by Intel, which not all that uncommon, but I kind of wonder if Intel is on board with advertising to a giveaway to this company's advertisers. Like, that in itself is a little bizarre. But I want to stress something. In the ad I was given and on their own page, the rules for the giveaway is that you just must be part of their ambassador program. That is the only rule. All right. I want that to be clear. That's the only rule they have stated. So what they do is that their giveaway then draws up a streamer by the name of Kiapia, which I have most likely mispronounced. It is spelled KIAPIAA_. If I have mispronounced that, you can go ahead and send your emails to ireallydon'tcare@gmail.com. Good luck getting a response to me out of that. I mean, I do care a little bit, but please no hating. In any case, once this streamer was drawn as the winner, the CEO, who, by the way, is on this live stream wearing some sort of terrible Star-Lord cosplay, then begins to go through the streamer's social metrics on all social platforms. To which I think, first off, going to all social platforms is both good and disgusting. The thing is, as a streamer, you should care about where your standing is on all social platforms, just because you can't really effectively stream on Twitch and focus 100% on Twitch. You just can't. You've got to go out and put yourself on multiple different platforms. In my case, I have this podcast. It reaches on every single podcasting platform out there. I'm out on Twitter. I'm out on Instagram. I'm out on YouTube. I'm out on TikTok. I'm out on pretty much everything I can get my hands on, of which it makes sense. Like, you're not going to find me on OnlyFans. No, you're not going to find that, because nobody wants that content. Don't lie to me and say you do, because you don't. But in any case, back to the story. On the fly, their CEO started tearing down her metrics and talking about how low all of her metrics were, because she's, you know, a small streamer. And I don't know if most people know this, but it ain't easy getting noticed as a streamer. It ain't. It never has been. At least not for the right reasons, anyway. And live on Artesian Builds Twitch stream, denied Kiapia's winnings and re-rolled who won the PC. So on its face, this is already a very douchey thing to do. To just go ahead and say, hey, I have decided on the fly today, without having it written anywhere, that you're not big enough to win this PC. Re-roll it after tearing down how badly the streamer is doing metrics wise, which honestly, as someone who technically is in the top 2% of all streamers just based on his metrics, she's doing better than me. Like, realistically, streaming is such a hard business to get in. And the thing is that I look at myself, what my viewership is, what my follower count is, and how successful I am as a streamer, and I don't consider myself all that successful. But the fact that you look at my metrics and it says I'm in the top 2% really just shows the sheer volume of streamers out there trying to make it, but can't. It is a grossly oversaturated field. So then naturally, pretty much the entire internet went ahead and just piled on this guy, piled on Artesian Builds or Artesian Builds. And I'll tell you what, just the line that he delivered saying, this is his exact words, and I quote, "This is an ambassador giveaway, and if you want to win, you must collaborate with my company. Sponsored by Intel." Yeah, no one was thrilled. Also, I hate to break it to him, but giving away free stuff is a very tricky business. For you see, this kind of thing he just did, not only is it scummy, in the overwhelming majority, if not all states of the United States, it is illegal. You cannot go ahead and take a PC like this and just suddenly change the rules as to who wins. There's also some questionable legality about saying, even putting in those kind of rules. Let's even pretend that the rules were clear. You must met a certain metric of collaboration with my company to even earn this. Depending on the state, and I want to say the state of California is like this, that is considered a buy-in into the giveaway, which now makes it a lottery and thus makes it even more illegal. There's a reason why on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/EagleFalcon, when I do a giveaway, there are settings in a lot of giveaway tools to go ahead and weigh more heavily whether you're more likely to draw a subscriber, someone that pays you $5 a month for certain privileges, or higher odds of rolling a moderator. I intentionally keep everything even for this reason, because having those sort of things enabled can technically, if someone were to bring the weight of the law down on me, be considered a lottery, and then I could be facing jail time. Giveaways must be done on the up and up, and the rules for it must be clear before the giveaway is held. It's referred to as sweepstake law. And fortunately, it's nowhere near as strict in my state of Wisconsin as it is in Artesian Builds' state of California. Oh, and to make matters even better with this guy, there's some records that show he has been evading state tax. You can't do that. So the company's already in trouble with the state, and his company business license in the state of California was forfeited in order for his company to function now as a business and enjoy what few tax benefits and, more importantly, more operating legally sort of thing, as opposed to an independent just selling stuff you own. That company now needs to reapply and then, and also pay the back tax that is owed. Now, of course, the CEO went ahead and tried to apologize, and they put out like several different weak apologies. And I do want to stress weak apologies. Like, they were all just sad. They were all very, very sad apologies. That's the only way I could phrase it. And the first two apologies pretty much made it sound like, I would say the first one more came off as, I'm sorry you were offended by our behavior, and then, I'm sorry we got caught, and then finally, we tried being transparent, but I'm sorry that we offended everyone. First off, they weren't being transparent at all. If they were being transparent, they wouldn't have changed the rules. Now, since then, they did try to offer a free PC to the Twitch streamer that was denied a winning PC. Someone in chat mentioned apparently they re-rolled several times for the PC, and it was just this one that everyone knew about because clips of the incident were shared over and over again. Twitch YouTuber, tech YouTuber Jay's 2 cents did step in and pull his connections with various PC builders, and actually then sent a PC that I am totally not jealous about. What are you talking about? To the Twitch streamer. So between all the positive publicity that the Twitch streamer got and the new PC, she's doing very well for herself right now. There's no mistaking that. I believe she was at like 2,000 followers on Twitch. Now it's sitting at like 20 or 30,000. Like, as long as she can keep up the momentum and provide good content, she is looking really good. Now, I'll just say it, if somehow she's watching this, your viewership is going to go down. Like right now, she's at like a 100 or 2 concurrent. It's going to go down. It's probably going to go down as low as 50. Might even go all the way back down to what it was before. Don't worry about it. Just continue focusing on providing good quality content. Because any sort of thing like this, you know your numbers are going to surge massively. But as the story dies down, which I'll just phrase it like this right now, I think it's peaked. And I'll get to why I think it has peaked in just a moment. But I mean, the story can't last forever. And with that, the free eyeballs you're going to get from it are going to die off. All you can do is just put out your best foot, provide the best content you can, and retain as much of it as possible, and just try to grow off it. Don't worry about the follower numbers going down. Don't worry about the viewer numbers going down. Just focus on providing high quality content. And the best advice I can give any streamer, don't shut up. Far too often, and I fall into this trap constantly myself, when you're playing a game trying to provide entertaining game content, you're just silent the whole time. And that is bad. That is not good viewing. Keep cracking jokes, keep providing some kind of content, keep interacting with chat. That's the best advice I can give. But you know, I'm only the top 2%. What do I have to talk about? That still feels weird. The fact that metrics wise, technically top 2%. But I know I am an ant in the world of streaming. But let's actually get back to the kind of quality Artesian Builds provides. Because, well, other streamers have pointed out that PCs they've gotten were throttled from the factory for reasons that cannot be explained. Like, for no adequately explored reason, just for whatever reason, just throttle down the clock speed of the GPU. I don't know if they're just like, when they're assembling these, trying to go ahead and hit a specific heat metric, but as long as there's an exhaust fan, there's no reason to throttle the GPU. It makes no sense. So even as far as PC builders go, they're not good at it. Which is just even more bizarre. Oh yeah, and then of course there's the big angle with the way they operate, and that's actually building the computer on stream and then taking the revenue of those streams to actually fund the giveaways for their advertising. Which, there's nothing illegal about that. It's just, it doesn't give a good look for a business to do that. Like, most businesses that run a Twitch stream on the side for that whole sort of thing, usually any kind of revenue that's raised through the streams is donated to charity or something of akin to that. This just goes to giveaways to their ambassadors that are their free advertising. And then, oh yeah, the fact that, you know, the ambassadors are paid nothing other than commission to go and shill for them. And you might think, oh, it wouldn't cost the streamer anything. They just put a banner down their info page. It's no big deal. As I said earlier, the info page has very, very little traffic. As a small streamer, if I was to go ahead and try to maximize the amount of revenue I would get from a deal like that, there would either A, be a banner somewhere on the screen, or B, and probably the more likely way, seeing as how, you know, I'm not being paid at all other than in commissions, it would be a timed text message through a bot like Nightbot. In fact, I would probably do Nightbot, just because Nightbot is kind of a meme in my channel. And then it's, you know, I'm advertising for a company that I make nothing for. Advertising on a channel like mine is cheap. I know that. There's not all that many eyeballs that pay attention to my stream. I don't have like thousands upon thousands of viewers. But the value of advertising on my channel isn't zero. And that's the point. And the fact they go ahead and treat their free advertising by never actually spending a single dime of their own is just awful. Someone in chat thought that perhaps consistent frame rates are the reason for throttling. If the reason was for consistent frame rates, there's no reason to undervolt the GPU. If anything, undervolting it like that would cause less consistent frame rates. Because the moment the GPU needs to draw on more power to go ahead and render a harsher scene, it has no headroom because it's being held back. Honestly, you want the most consistent frame rates out of your GPU? You want to know how you do it? You leave the GPU at stock. That's it. Make sure you got a good power supply. Leave the GPU at stock. And just make sure you got enough cooling in the case. Make sure you got exhaust. Make sure you're not a positive pressure based case. That's the key. But now I said that the story of Artesian Builds is basically over. It doesn't sound like it's over yet because there's still places that the publicity could go. But that brings me to my final point. This tweet from, I've been swapping between Artisan and Artesian Builds. Which is it? Artisan or Artesian? Regardless. The company Artesian Builds has deleted their apologies for starters. The tweets containing their apologies are gone. And they tweeted out saying, quote, "At this point, we are examining a potential employee-led buyout of the company. Thank you for your support." All right. Thoughts. And I actually have a lot to say on this, because it wasn't all that long ago I took advantage of something very similar. The place I looked at, or the place I worked at, I worked there for years. In fact, now going on 10 years. I worked there for a long time. And the owner was looking to retire. I was presented with an offer from the owner to buy the company from him so that he can then go retire, and that the money that I'd make from the business, large chunks of it would go to pay for the company over a 7-year period. Of course, I did this 3 years before COVID hit, so 3 years before COVID, it seemed like a great idea. 3 months, or I'm sorry, did I say 3 years? 3 months before COVID. 3 months before COVID, it seemed like a great idea. 3 months after I signed the paperwork and took over, it was rough. There's no other way to say it. Now, being in the position of an employee that bought out the company, how do I evaluate someone within the company of Artesian Builds buying the company? You have a company that wasn't known to a lot of people until about a week ago. Now the entire PC building community knows the name Artesian Builds. that they're run by a douchebag that tried to go ahead and use the excuse that he didn't have a PR department, and that's why he decided to be a douche on live camera. The company could quite possibly be investigated by the FTC, though it's not likely, for sweepstakes, for violating sweepstake laws and potential fraud. In addition, you technically don't even have a company. You have a collection of things because your license as a business was revoked. I would not buy the company as an employee. Absolutely not. The name Artesian Builds is dead. The advertising platform was, okay-ish. It was taking advantage of a lot of people who don't know the streaming industry all that well. And you had a lot of free publicity, basically. But now you have the name is dead. It's unusable. The only chance this CEO has of surviving is to sell the company to another small manufacturer. There's plenty of other small PC builders out there. Power GPU, I know, is one that's run by like a dozen people who are all, really chill, really nice people. Their CEO actually is quite possibly the exact opposite of Star-Lord here, who is, those guys are, very humble about where they are. Like, that is a company that if they approached me with an advertising deal, as long as it wasn't like a complete ripoff, I would most likely take it because they're a company I trust. When you're a company like Artesian Builds that tries to go ahead and rip off small streamers by getting free advertising and then can't even be bothered to realize that the person you're contacting is a tech-oriented channel, yeah, your name's not doing really well. And quite frankly, the company's over. The only news that will possibly happen is that maybe some other streamer is dumb enough to buy it. And I would say that unless it's a big name streamer, it's just damaged goods. There's nothing you can do at this point. Or if a smaller builder went ahead and bought them out. Other than that, this story is done. The next step is hearing about the buyout or about the dissolvement of what's left of the company, even though technically, on paper, there is no company. We're going to take our break here, and when we come back, Russia. Yay, Russia.